welcome to our show. You're listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative arts therapy. Each week we'll explore new ways that music, art, and dance can reach, connect with, and help individuals of all stages of health and wellness. Hi, I'm Bree Bynan, a board-certified music therapist and the managing partner for the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. Tune in as I interview professionals from healthcare and educational backgrounds on the impact of the creative arts. If you prefer to watch our live video stream, simply visit www.pbmti.com. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We're so glad you're here. We have a wonderful show planned for tonight. We have a board-certified music therapist, Karen House, here today, and Jackie Walsh is here today, parent of a student in one of Karen's music therapy groups. This show is going to be focused on talking about Down syndrome awareness. October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. October itself is home to, I believe, 29 different charities. It's the most charitable month. There's lots of opportunities to get engaged with your community this month and to give back a little bit. So before we get into talking to our guests and talking specifically about how music therapy can benefit children and adults with Down syndrome, I want to send a charge out to everyone listening and watching today to get involved with your community. So I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of volunteering. Now, I feel like personally I was very lucky to grow up in not only a very small town where it was very easy to get involved in your community because everybody knew each other, so you knew exactly who your community was. But also I grew up in a house, it was just very small, me and my mom, and volunteering was always a part of our lives. I didn't understand that there was a difference between working and volunteering, really. So my mom was a coach of just about every sport that our little town offered, and by that hand I played all of those sports. I wasn't very good at any of them, but she was the coach, so I played them. So I got to see that wonderful example of being really involved in the community, volunteering your time when you can in a fun way, in a way that you're looking forward to, making new friendships, making new connections, influencing young lives or just older lives, any lives, in a way that you really brings you joy as well. So I found this website, the Corporation for National and Community Service, and it talks about the benefits of volunteering. So I wanted to read a little bit here. It says, volunteering can benefit your health. Over the past 2 decades, we have also seen a growing body of research that indicates volunteering provides individual health benefits in addition to social ones. This research, which is presented by CNCS in a report titled The Health Benefits of Volunteering, a Review of Recent Research, has established a strong relationship between volunteering and health. Those who volunteer have lower mortality rates, greater functional ability, and lower rates of depression later in life than those who do not volunteer. And a lot of that makes sense. It's always exciting to see something written up in research so we know that we can validate it. But it makes a lot of sense. The more you're out there in your community making connections, the more friendships you're going to have. You're going to limit your isolation, limit any risk for depression by getting out there and making others feel good and in turn making ourselves feel good. So as I mentioned, if you're not actively involved in your community and volunteering in any capacity, this is a great month to start. We're halfway through the month already, but it's not too late. Here are just a few charities. There are so many that are sharing the month of October, celebrating their cause. Some everybody I'm sure knows about. It's obviously Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So this is, I'm sure you've seen the signs of this. There's pink everywhere. You can turn on a football game and you see that the NFL is getting involved in their community. They wear the pink gloves. So that's certainly a charity, if that's close to your heart, that you would like to get involved in. October is a great month for that. As we mentioned, Down Syndrome Awareness Month. We're going to be talking more about that later. National Mental Health Awareness, National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Vegetarian Awareness Month. Maybe this is a good month to go vegetarian. I don't know. I have friends that would argue any month is a good month to go vegetarian. National Hispanic Heritage Month is actually September 15th to October 15th. Let's see here. In the UK, it's Black History Month. And there are many, as it's Dental Hygiene Month. If you haven't gone to the dentist yet, invest in yourself and do that, maybe for Dental Hygiene Month. There are a lot of opportunities. You can just do a quick search online of what charities are supported in the month of October. Again, it is the most charitable month for ways to get involved. October is not National Alzheimer's Awareness Month. That's actually November. However, we just wrapped up last week our West Palm Beach Walk to End Alzheimer's, which was an incredible event. I was lucky enough to be on the planning committee for that event, and we've been working as a great committee since last April, finding different sponsors for the event, getting awareness, getting teams together, and it truly always takes a village for something like this to be pulled off, and it was excellent. We were down in City Place. We had over 1,500 walkers, and all in all, at the end of the day, it was announced at the race that we had raised $190,000 for research for Alzheimer's disease, which I think is so incredible, and I feel so proud to be a part of that. Even better than myself personally getting involved, I was able to reach out to our entire team at Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, and they got involved as well, which was so awesome. So if there's something that you specifically care about, that you are passionate about, it just grows the impact that much more to get your friends and family involved with you. It just helps you get really invested in the cause. And so I would really want to encourage you to get involved in your community. That does not mean that you have to sit on a committee and plan a huge event and donate all of your time. You don't have to do something to that extreme. You're always welcome to do that. I'm sure there's many committees that would love to have people volunteer for that. But it can be as simple as doing social advocacy online. I know that gets a bad name sometimes. I've heard the term slacktivism, but honestly, I don't think that there is any negatives to doing your part in the way that you're comfortable to spread awareness about a cause. So if there's a hashtag for a charity you support, use that. If it's something that's close to your heart for a personal reason, share your story. There's a lot of easy ways that from your couch, as you're just relaxing at the end of the day, that you can spread awareness about some needs that are going on all around us. Sometimes I think it's really easy for us to forget about a lot of these things, whether it's a cancer awareness or any kind of diagnosis, disease, any kind of social or situation, if it's not affecting us personally. But that's why it's so important to get involved in your community, to meet your neighbors, to see those, not only personally, but also professionally as well. It can really help your company, which is another great reason to get involved and to give back. So I want to encourage that. PBMTI is getting involved again this weekend at the 21st annual, I believe, Buddy Walk, specifically that will be benefiting the Gold Coast Down Syndrome Organization. That will be Sunday morning, starting 8 a.m. at John Prince Park in Lake Worth. We're going to be talking about that a lot later. Myself and Karen, our guest today, will be at PBMTI, or Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute's booth, sharing information about music therapy, sharing information about how music benefits individuals with Down syndrome, which you'll learn about today, and just playing a lot of music and having a lot of fun. So we're hoping that not only you'll see us there, but you will probably hear us before you see us there. We will have all of our fun instruments out, a parachute out, and we'll be looking forward to anyone who will be at that event, which from what I've heard draws a really large crowd and is a really fun event, again, benefiting the Gold Coast Down Syndrome Organization, which is a local community-based support program that we'll be sharing more information about. We will be doing a giveaway from this show, but it won't be given away to a caller necessarily today. We want you to listen to the show today, learn about music therapy, learn about how music influences and helps the lives of these individuals. And then come find us at the walk, at the Buddy Walk. If you're local, if you come to our booth and you mention that you heard about us on the show, you heard about us promoting community and volunteering, you will receive a complimentary hour-long demo program of music therapy for your organization, for your family, for yourself maybe. We would love to do that. We do want to know that you heard about it here on the show, so make sure you come find us at the Buddy Walk on Sunday morning. You let us know that you heard on Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, our call to action for community. When we come back from our commercial break, I'll be introducing to you Karen House, who's a board-certified music therapist. She also has her master's in science, specifically creative arts therapy, from Nazareth College in Rochester, New York. Karen and I go way back. We've been very close friends for over 10 years. We were college roommates in Nazareth College, went to music therapy school there, and now work together at Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. So you're going to learn a lot from her and from our guest Jackie in a little while. And we're so glad you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more after this commercial break. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We are shining a bright light on the creative arts therapies happening here in our area in Southeast Florida. Today, I am so pleased to have with me a very good friend, colleague, Karen House. She's a board-certified music therapist. She is working with Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, specifically with our children's programs. We're so glad you're here, Karen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So, Karen, you work with a lot of different programs, specifically with children. What are some of the different diagnoses or demographics that you work with?
I work with children that have Down syndrome, children that have autism, some children that are actually in foster care, also neurotypical kiddos.
Wonderful, wonderful. We actually have a caller, I believe. Hello?
Hello, it's your mother.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. You finally got through, Mom. She's been calling every week.
Karen, I'm so glad you're there.
You're the best.
Did you like your shout out, Mom? I know you're a great advocate for getting involved in the community, so
I was so impressed. It's so right. It makes everything better in your life when you volunteer, no matter where it is.
That's awesome. Well, you make everyone better in your life, Mom. Thank you for calling in.
True.
We love you.
Love you.
All right. Wonderful show. Love you guys.
She's been wanting to do that.
That's so cute.
All right, awesome. So thank you for sharing a little bit about those that you work with every day. Why do you think that music is a particularly good intervention for reaching these kids?
Well, a child's brain grows rapidly in the first 3 to 5 years of life, especially in the major domain areas of cognition, communication, social, emotional, and motor skills. So music therapy is really the perfect tool to target all those domains because music can actually target multiple areas of development at once, and even with a single intervention, which I'll get to later. But with working with children with special needs, music therapy can address goals and objectives similar to those on an IEP. So goals that a speech therapist or a physical therapist would be working on, music therapy can often addressed the same way, just using music as a medium for that. And some examples would be following multi-step directions, gross and fine motor skills, vocalizations or receptive communication, making and maintaining eye contact, identifying concepts such as colors, numbers, anything that you might learn in the classroom.
That's great. And how do you use music in that situation to reach all of those goals? Is it, I'm sure every session probably looks a little different. Do you have like kind of a typical setup?
Well, I mean, a typical session, we would always start with a hello song. And that helps start with, present a structure for the kids. And structure is very important. We would use instrument play. Instrument play would help with the motor skills, holding on to a drumstick or shaking your arm with a maraca or a tambourine. That helps with the motor skills. Singing for vocalizing. I would have concepts in a song, and that would help recall facts. So that would hit the cognition domain. And when you're in a group with your peers and you're actively making music together, that's just naturally helping with socialization.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So you talked a little bit about the different type of children that you work with, some of the different settings. Do you recommend that kids are seen in a group setting and in an individual? Are there separate things being worked on in both settings? Can one child benefit from both situations?
Absolutely. It really depends on the child, but I would say for an individual session, you're focusing all of your attention on that child. So you can really take your time and repeat things and really help that child get whatever goal you're trying to achieve without worrying about the other kiddos in the room, whereas with a group, you're working on socialization, of course, because there's multiple kids there. So that's really helpful when you're with an individual. It's not as easy to work on the socialization goals, But the really great thing about doing multiple, an individual and a group session, is when you can present a concept or a goal or objective in that individual session and then present it again in a group session, and that's a totally different situation. So that helps transfer those skills into another area, so that will make it even easier to transfer that skill into normal life.
That's wonderful, and I really am excited to get to talk to Jackie, who's a mother of one of your kids in your group today, about that transfer of and obviously having fun just by the nature of being music in group, but what that skill looks like outside of a music group as well. Tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a music therapist. Did you always know this is something you wanted to do? Are you a musician first and foremost? How did that lend yourself to this career?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to do something with music. I grew up taking piano lessons. I played the violin for many, many, many years. And I just always loved music. I knew that was what I was most passionate about. But it took, I think I took a quiz or something in high school that it was like, what career would best suit you? And I saw music therapy on that list. So I was originally thinking maybe along the lines of performance musician or music educator, but there's so much structure and discipline that's behind that, and I'm more of a free-spirited sort of person. So I did a little bit more research into music therapy, and it just sounded wonderful, helping people and still being, using music. And I ended up shadowing the most amazing music therapist ever. Her name is DeForia Lane. I know, she's incredible. She was in Cleveland working at a children's hospital. And at the time, I had no idea who she was. She's actually quite a big name in the field. But she just let me shadow her for the day, and I walked around the hospital with her and sat in some of those kiddo sessions, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. It was amazing.
I think that we're both very lucky in that regard, that we knew that from a younger age. We found out about it in high school and knew right to go, and then, obviously loved being at NAS and that program there and how it just set us up for where we are today, which is awesome. Now, you actually stayed at NAS after I moved down to Florida and went on to get your master's in the Creative Arts Therapy program that was brand new at the time, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about what that master's program means and how maybe you apply some of that to your work now?
Yes, actually, the master's program goes a little bit deeper into psychology than the bachelor program. So that knowledge has really come in handy with my work with the foster children, because you're focusing more on the psychiatric side of things, how they're doing emotionally and socially. So that would probably be, I would think, the biggest transfer there.
That's great. One thing I wanted to ask is, I work mostly in senior settings, and a lot of the places where I'm working, whether it's a facility or a day program, a community program, they have entertainers come in. And so I feel like I am doing a lot of education when I walk into the door of, that's wonderful, keep your entertainers, that's a great thing. Here's why what I'll be doing in a music therapy session will be different. How would you explain that to someone if they asked you, we have children's entertainers that come, how is what you're doing different than them?
Well, children's entertainers they're presenting of a fun activity. We're working on goals and objectives for the kiddos. We're working on things that could come right off of their education plan. So it's different in the sense that we're focusing on each kid specifically and what they need and tailoring our songs or interventions to their needs to obtain outcomes that will further their development.
That's great. And you mentioned a little earlier too about the goals and the interventions, which is clinical speak, but would you mind putting a little bit, and I know you're sick, so I'm sorry to ask you to sing, but to share one of your interventions that you would use in a group and to talk about why you would use it, what the benefits would be of it, what you would be targeting.
Sure. Well, my favorite my go-to dancing song is called Magic Shoes, and it's actually a song that came from Rochester, New York. Woo! Shout out. A therapist named Wade Richards, who is awesome. He wrote the song, and it's really great. It targets a whole bunch of areas, so I will play the song, and then we'll talk about all the different things that it targets.
Awesome.
Magic shoes, you never know what those shoes can do. Magic shoes, you never know what those shoes can do. Sometimes they march, sometimes they march, and then sometimes they stop. Magic shoes, and then it goes on from there.
Yeah, fun. I love that one.
That is, it's just so much fun. Everybody loves it. Doesn't matter what age you are. Okay, so all the different areas that song targets, we of course have the gross motor skills, marching. You can add in jumping, spinning, swaying, dancing, really anything you want. Peer interaction, if you're doing that in a group, you're watching your peers, imitating movements. So there's that social piece. Impulse control. I like to say that when I don't say a movement, our feet have to be nice and quiet and still. So that's really difficult for some of my little friends. Stop and start, receptive concepts with the guitar cue and also with the sung cue. So sometimes I will just stop the guitar and not say stop. So they have to be listening for that. Expressive communication, if you want to add in a piece of having the student say a movement themselves, and recall, we can ask, what did our shoes do today? So they have to recall that information and give it back.
And at the end of the day, they're having fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Doing all this work, doing all that therapy, and not even realizing it.
Oh, it's just fun.
Yeah. And not only do the kids love it, I mean, you can't do it without smiling. So it's something fun that you look forward to, even though you probably do it 5 times a day, right? And the caregivers, the adults, the parents love it too. I mean, we have one client, Grandma's Place, who we love, and every time Miss Karen does magic shoes with them, I know because it's on Facebook right away. Seeing those kids dancing, having fun, singing, having a blast together. So they love to see that as well. It changes the environment of the room. And you're in some situations where, there's maybe a lot of uncomfortable things going on. It's not a familiar environment. There may be some pain. There may be some confusion going on, different things, overwhelming new things. I love what you said about structure, how music brings a structure to the session, and I think that it's just something that kind of brings everybody together too. That's one thing I've definitely observed going to see your sessions is there might be chaos going on, but when Miss Karen walks in the door, it's amazing how everyone kind of comes together. Really, I may not always seem that way, but really as an observer,
thank you for saying that.
They're holding on your every word. They really are. You are like their rock star in that moment, which is really, really cool to see. So when we come back from our next commercial break, we're going to be talking to Jackie Walsh. She's going to be joining us. She is a parent of one of the children in Miss Karen's music group. So we'll see you after the break. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com, engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Hello, and again, thank you so much for listening and watching with us. If you're home, we're so glad you're here. This is Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, and today we are talking about community, the importance of getting involved in community, the benefits of volunteering, and one of the events that PBMTI will be volunteering with this weekend is the Buddy Walk for Gold Coast Down Syndrome Organization. They are also a client of ours. We do music therapy programs there. You just heard from Karen House, who is our board-certified music therapist who works with the children, and we are so excited to have Jackie Walsh here, who her daughter was in Miss Karen's program at Gold Coast Down Syndrome Organization. So thank you so much for being here
Thanks
today.
For having me.
Absolutely.
Good to be here.
Thank you. We would just love to hear maybe a little bit about your story with your daughter, how you came to find Gold Coast, and what that resource has meant for your life.
Okay, well, I found out about Gold Coast. To tell you the truth, I can't really remember exactly how I found out about it, but it was before I even had Jamie. But I visited them once early on when Jamie was real young. And then I didn't visit back again until she was about 2 years old when they were having this music program, just because every parent has kind of their own time schedule in terms of how they get involved with a new community, and it was overwhelming. And so we took our time, but when I came back, Jamie was about 2 years old, and we were meeting on Wednesday mornings, and every other Wednesday Karen would come, and we were hooked from the very get-go. And Jamie, we had already discovered that she was a lover of music from very early on, and so when she met Karen, it was like love at first sight. And every time we go there, when we come down the road, she sees the place, she starts freaking out in the car, and she's very excited because she knows that Karen's going to be there. And there's some Wednesdays when we just meet and Karen's not there, and it's kind of disappointing for her, but that's okay. Her friends are there and she still has a good time. But
we did not pay her to say this.
and then when Karen comes in the door, we're all playing, and when Karen comes in the door, it's Jamie just takes over the room with her cries of excitement. She's just so excited when Karen comes in, and she plants herself right in front of the spot where Karen sits, and it's just been the most. I just love watching it. I love watching her and the other kids being engaged. I've watched several of the kids go from being very shy and kind of afraid with like all the noise and commotion going on and the noise and singing to being, I don't know, I just feel like she kind of draws the kids out, and the music is just, it's just magical, I think. And the kids just are so excited. And I think we've missed maybe 2 or 3 times over the past year and a half that Karen has been with us. And we finally got to the point where when Jamie turned 3, she went into a school setting to get her services. And so I'm starting to have Karen come to the house to do
great.
some individual sessions, which I see a whole different side of why it's good, because it's a lot more, like Karen was saying, it's a lot more, she can focus a lot more on what Jamie's working on. And it was really exciting to see Jamie sit there and respond to Karen's voice with her own voice, because she is struggling with speech. And so it's really cool to watch that happen.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So as a parent, and knowing what you know about Down syndrome itself and all the research that I'm sure you've done throughout that time, why do you think that music particularly is such a good vehicle for reaching these children?
My feeling is that it touches an emotional part of the person. And I know from just my experience with Jamie that there is I feel like she has an emotional maturity that is beyond her years, and that she has like an emotional intelligence that's even more than, any of the other areas of development. And I think that the music reaches her in that area. And so I think it kind of unlocks something in her that allows her to express her voice or any other type of expression. So
yeah, we use that analogy a lot, unlocking. I mean, that's so the case with so many of the individuals throughout the lifespan that we work with. You shared a little bit about watching your daughter, who you said is largely nonverbal, but respond with her voice in sessions, and how amazing that was to see. And I'm putting you on the spot, I'm sorry, but do you have any certain instances or memories that come to mind of a song or an intervention, either of you, where she used her voice and it just was a really special moment for you?
The Raindrop song. When Karen sings about the raindrops, it's very, there's a very emphatic use of mouth movements in that song. And there came a time when Jamie would open her mouth, and there was for a while she was just using the lip movements, and then there came a time when she actually opened her mouth and sounds came out, and it was so exciting. So that was cool. And then one time when Karen was with us at home, and there were some things that Karen would sing to her, and then Karen would like stop at a word, and Jamie would complete the sentence with a sound of her own. And so that was really exciting and brought tears to my eyes, actually. So I was very
What was
excited.
her response to that? Did she kind of just keep going, or was she
was focused.
It's like she's very focused, and it was like she had been doing it all along, almost like she just knew it. It was in there, and it was just the music brought it out. Yeah.
That's great. So, we see a lot of those amazing responses, and I mean, this is part of the reason why Karen and myself and all of our team members will shout from the mountaintop that we have the best job in the world, because we get to go into any situation, even if it's an unpleasant situation, and bring joy and see those smiles and see those amazing responses. But we don't get to always see what happens after we leave the room. So what is some transference that you've observed, maybe from something that happened in a session that maybe carried over to a non-music therapy time?
Well, we have moms come in, and I've been there a year and a half with Jamie, and she's one of the oldest kids, but we have moms come in with 3-week-old babies, and those moms are from my experience, they're in a kind of a state of shock because maybe they just found out about the diagnosis from birth, like right at birth, and so they're a little bit kind of in a state of shock, in a fog, sort of. And I've seen they come in and they do the music therapy, and then Karen leaves, and it kind of, I don't know, we kind of gather kind of around the mom. It brings the other moms together, and it creates a feeling of support. And there's even a lot of times there's a language barrier, but we are still able to somehow come together. It just the mood of the room it's just a different mood that allows, I don't know, just paves a way for a better connection.
We love to say that when we're educating the community or doing advocacy work, that it is that. It's cliche to say, but that universal language that no matter, I think I've talked about on this show before, there's a couple groups that I do that are bilingual, and some of them that all of my clients are from different Latin-speaking countries. And I don't speak Spanish, but I can sing in Spanish, and I know how to drum Latin rhythms and things like that, and we're able to have an hour connecting together. So it sounds like a little of that is also going on. The music is able to bridge that gap, which is so important in this area we live in that is so multicultural and gives us an opportunity to celebrate all of our differences in that way. I know you shared a really cute story before we came on today when we were talking about Karen doing magic shoes. If you wouldn't mind sharing that.
Yeah, sure. Well, we are in the middle of potty training right now. And so, you all heard the song about how Karen uses different movements of like marching, and in that song, sometimes they march, sometimes they sway, and I have used that song. It's one of my favorite songs. Sometimes Karen will be singing that song, and I don't even know where Jamie is in the room, and I'm just like having a great time. I love it. But she's, she'll be sitting on the potty, and sometimes they need a little encouragement, and so I sing Magic Shoes, and that's sometimes they poop.
Sometimes they.
She smiles, and it's relaxing, and so I think it's helpful, and so I use it in a lot of different areas. It's one of the things we sing in the car. We sing, we tell Karen all the time that we want her to make us a CD so we can play it in our car because the kids just love those songs, and I think it really helps them, with just other things that they do.
And they don't know that they're addressing that laundry list of goals.
Right,
that's really helping with all these areas. So that's we focus a lot of that, in our practice, but also on this show of giving tools back to the caregiver, the personal or professional caregiver at home, of how they can use music and art and dance in different ways to help their loved ones. So I love hearing those stories that you don't have to have a music therapist present to be able to take some of those tools that you learn in session, which is so special about having that mommy and me style class too, that bonds not only the moms to each other, but with their children as well. I know sometimes you have siblings that come to the group as well. That's a really special group.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And you and I spoke about a month or so ago specifically about talking to schools about music therapy, which is a whole hour, 2-hour, 3-hour show in itself. Karen, would you talk a little bit about your role in New York? Was a much different setup for music therapy in the school district. How did that look?
Well, music therapy in New York, in Rochester, was already established in the school system when I got on the scene, when I graduated from Nazareth. So I worked for a private company that contracted with the school districts all throughout Rochester, around the city, the suburbs, all that. So we would obtain clients that had music therapy on their IEPs, or that were referred by teachers or parents that said, hey, I noticed that every time we sing our circle time song, he listens better. So let's get him an assessment. so we would conduct assessments, and we would sit down in the IEP meetings and, go through that whole process. We would see kids in groups and individuals. If they were in preschool, most of the time they either went to a morning preschool session or an afternoon. So usually the kids would get 2 times 30 a week for music, and that would generally be an individual and a group for 30 minutes, so twice a week, 30 minutes. And a lot of times we would do the group in the classroom, but just to make sure that we weren't taking up too much of their time in the classroom, we would do the individual at home. But it was all through school districts, it was amazing.
And funded through
through the schools or the district or the county. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, Palm Beach County is a school district, but at home it's by city, so it is different. It's confusing. Yeah.
It is a little confusing.
Yeah. So nationally, music therapy is listed as a related service on IEP, correct? On a national level.
Yes.
But that doesn't matter when you're looking at state jurisdiction. So in the state of Florida, we're not quite there yet. So we're working on that. When we do have certain regulations, we will be able to be on an IEP and to be able to have those services covered and increase that accessibility, which would be wonderful.
Would be amazing.
And we've talked a lot about this, but would you mind sharing a little bit? Why would you advocate for music therapy in the school to be on the IEP?
Because just because of my experience with Jamie and having seen it, what it does for her and how excited she gets about it. She's excited when she goes to school. I mean, she loves going to school. But I think that there is a piece that music provides that is missing. They have a little 10-minute or 5-minute music at the end of the day. I think they turn on music at the end of the day and they dance a little bit. But I think when there is a specific goal for each child that is being addressed by music, I think there's a missing piece that we have now without music that needs to be in there. And I just think that because of the way I see Jamie respond to it, that it's just something that kids need.
Yeah. That's wonderful, and it means so much to us that you're an advocate for that, and not only for your own daughter, but for other children getting those services. And it's coming soon. I think this, like I've been saying, this is a really exciting time for our field in this area, and so it's just wonderful, and it just furthers us along. Having people like both of you come on and share that message with the whole country is really exciting. So we were going to be talking more with Jackie and Karen after our commercial break, so we'll see you then. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. Today we are talking about community, the importance of being involved with your community, with sharing your time volunteering, whether it's by yourself, with your family, with your work, getting engaged. We talked about the health benefits of that. There are so many, and not only are you helping others feel better, but you're helping yourself feel better as well. That's a win-win. And part of the way that my organization that I work with, Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, is giving back is we are going to be at the Buddy Walk this Sunday, which is benefiting the Gold Coast Down Syndrome Organization. We're going to be at John Prince Park in Lake Worth starting at 8 a.m. And if you want more information on that, you can go to www.goldcoast.org goldcoastdownsyndrome.org for information on that walk. We're talking to Karen House, who is a board-certified music therapist, and Jackie Walsh, who is a parent here. And we are all going to be at the Buddy Walk on Sunday, bright and early in the morning. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of information that the Gold Coast Down Syndrome organization sent over about the walk if you are interested in attending. It is the 21st annual Buddy Walk, and from what I understand, it started out as a small event, Jackie, right? Just kind of local, and last year was like 3,000 people. My gosh.
Wow.
So who's part of that crowd? Who's coming to the walk?
Families and friends and people, just anyone who is involved in a person, in the life of a person who has Down syndrome. And the people they form teams usually around the kids and adults. I mean, there's all the way from 0 to birth to maybe, I don't know, however old they are, and they have teams that form around them, and they fundraise, and they all get together, and I think they're just all people who support.
Specific to the individual?
Specific to the
Okay, so does your
individual.
daughter have a team?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Jamie's Joy.
Jamie, oh, I love it.
love that.
I love it. And where can people donate?
The website is gcdso.donordrive.com.
Great. And can people donate to specific teams from
Yes.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
it's a little plug for Jamie's Joy. That's excellent. What can you expect from the vendors? What kind of vendors are going to be representative?
There are, there's food.
Okay. Very important.
There's lots of food, and there's all kinds of stuff for the kids, bounce houses, climbing walls, and that kind of thing, and games, and more food, and music, and it's just a huge event. There's lots to do for the kids, so it's a great family day.
Food, music, bounce houses. That's all I needed to hear. That's
Yeah.
excellent. So it is bright and early. Check-in is at 8 a.m. Opening ceremony starting 8:45 with the walk starting at 9:15. And all of the activities that you mentioned will be open from 8 to 1 p.m. It's at John Prince Park, Center Drive Pavilion. The address for that, if you're interested, is 4759 South Congress Avenue in Lake Worth, Florida. Is there still time to register? Okay.
Yep.
So registration information, $15 through October 4th. Sorry, $20 now. That's not too bad. Participants may register the day of the walk. Fee includes a T-shirt, walk, continental breakfast, and multiple activities for children. Hot dogs, drinks, and additional food will be available for a small donation, and 100% of the proceeds will benefit the Gold Coast Down Syndrome organization, which, as we've been talking about today, is a great organization to be benefiting with a lot of wonderful resources. The Buddy Walk is a family fun event, which includes a 1-mile walk. That's not too bad. Free breakfast, bounce houses, a petting zoo. Got excited about that. Rock wall, pony rides, young children's games, face painting, dunk tank, live entertainment, DJ, dancing, a raffle, a silent auction. This is going to be incredible. Wow. The event raises funds, again, for the Gold Coast Down Syndrome, educational, social, and advocacy programs serving all of Palm Beach County. So staying right here in our community promotes the abilities and talents of all persons with Down syndrome. Again, Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, we are going to be there at our booth. We're going to be, Karen and I will be talking to people. If you have any questions or want to share any stories, I'm sure we'll get to see a lot of people whose lives you've even been able to touch through this program. And also, we're going to be having fun because it's what we do as musicians. We're playing a lot of loud instruments and being silly and dancing, even if it's at 8 in the morning. So we hope to see you there. We hope to have you join us. Before we wrap up today, Karen has a lot of things going on. Not only is she working with Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute as our music therapist, you also may have seen her social interaction. She does our Facebook and Twitter page, setting up for the show here and getting people excited for that. Also, we're going to be doing in future shows some Q&As back and forth. If you have any questions, Karen will be who you'll be interacting with, so shine a little light on the face behind the keyboard. But you are also doing gigs out in the community. You also play, which is so fun to go watch. So you want to shout out a little bit about where you play?
Sure. I do acoustic covers of all of your favorite songs from now or yesteryear. Coming up, I'll be at the West Palm Beach Green Market on Saturday morning. That is, I think, at 10 o'clock. So if you want to come by and say hi, I'll be down there. And you can check me out on Facebook at Karen House Music. That's KarenHouse Music.
House music.
Karen House Music. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, we're so glad that both of you could come today. We just have a few minutes left. So I wanted to do kind of something a little fun. Since I have one of my best friends here, I had to take advantage of something a little fun today. So this is actually an intervention that I found on a music therapist website. Let me shout it out for that music therapist. She has no idea I'm using this. Music Therapy Tunes. Very cool. MusicTherapyTunes.com. This is a Mad Lib of a children's song. I do Mad Libs with my seniors sometimes, especially on holiday time. We have a lot of fun. But we're going to be doing a Mad Lib of a children's song with Karen and then close out our show with this today. So, the biggest rule it says here is to keep it clean. So we are on the radio.
I think we can do that.
Yeah. Perfect. Karen, can I have the name of a restaurant?
Oh, Chipotle. Yes. Got too excited about that.
Your favorite instrument?
Let's go with the tambourine.
Ooh. Okay.
You want to take the next one?
Ooh.
Sure.
All right. A place you want to be, Jackie?
Colorado.
Ooh. You want to take the next one? Yeah?
Okay.
Who's gonna- okay. All right. We'll each do a line. How about that?
Oh, perfect.
Favorite person? Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness, who's
sorry.
watching me?
One of your
I'm
favorite
going to say
people.
my husband.
Okay. What's his name?
John.
All right, Karen.
Yeah.
Your a name.
Puddles. It's my dog.
Verb.
Flying. Fly.
I think that's
Fly.
fly. Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. All right, finish it out here, Jackie. A place. Oh, another place.
Disney World.
Yes.
I can't imagine who influenced that choice. And an instrument.
Maracas.
All right.
Good choice.
All right. Here we go. Are you ready to hear your song?
I'm so ready.
I'm going to finish up our night. If it cuts me off before I finish, thank you for listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We've loved having Karen and Jackie here today. We're going to finish out with our new version of Oh, Susanna.
Yes.
Can I have a capo?
Oh boy.
Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. Here we go. We're going to sing low in the basement. The magic of radio.
Oh yes.
All right, here we go. Oh, I came from Chipotle with a tambourine on my knee, and I'm going to Colorado, my John, to see. Oh, Puddles, won't you fly for me? I'm going to Disney World with a maraca on my knee.
That was awesome.
Beautiful job, ladies. So wonderful. So another fun little thing that you can do at home with your anyone. Honestly, this is just fun to do with anyone. Like I said, I did it with my senior groups. We rewrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They thought it was hilarious. There's a million of these online. I happened to find this from a music therapist website, but just couldn't give up the opportunity to have a little fun to close out the show tonight. So thank you again both so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you at home learned something today. I really hope that you'll come out and join us Sunday for the Buddy Walk. Don't forget, if you come to our booth and you mention today's show and how I encouraged you to get involved in community, we would be happy to do a complimentary demo program, music therapy program, 1 hour at the organization of your choice. So thank you again for listening. We hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discovered new ways to bring music, art, and dance into your home or workplace. Please find a copy of today's show at pbmti.com. If you have any questions for our guest or myself, please email me at Bree, that's B-R-E-E, at pbmti.com, or call the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute at 561-747-9944. Tune back in next week for an all-new live show. See you then.
The opinions expressed